The Social Media Lab is powered by Agorapulse.
Welcome to the Social Media Lab, busting the myths, rumors, and stories of the social media marketing ecosystem with science. Today, is that Facebook boost button a bad idea for everyone? And can the occasional boost actually improve your organic reach? Let's find out on today's Social Media Lab. So, I'm just perusing the social media marketing blogosphere here. Right off the bat, I see about a dozen articles telling me that boost button on my business's Facebook posts is worthless. I should be ashamed of using it and possibly even publicly humiliated in the town square with a barrel of tar and some feathers.
That's just a little bit melodramatic, wouldn't you say?
Well, I am a Pisces.
That explains a lot. I'm a Taurus, so there's that. But yeah, I keep seeing people going on rants claiming that boosting your post will also result in a lower reach for the organic posts that follow it.
Okay, well, I guess that's settled then. Nobody should ever boost their posts at any time for any reason ever.
Well, not so fast here, man. We probably should test that first before we come to some sort of conclusion.
Oh, so you're not convinced by these rumors?
No, I'm not. First, some business can still make very productive use of the boost button. It's a simple way to create an ad. You can target it towards whoever you want, whether they like your page, don't like your page, their age, their gender. You can set a budget and be done. You don't have to learn the ads manager platform. Or I personally use it a few times per week for my small business. And I know hundreds of other people who do, as well as even some social media managers that run agencies that I was talking to recently on a local level.
Well, I mean, I probably wouldn't boost a post for a brand like, say, Agorapulse, a global social media management tool for agencies and teams. Shameless plug alert! Because not everyone wants to see that in their feed, right? And a brand like ours needs a lot more targeting, I guess, to be effective. But I guess for some businesses and the agencies that represent them, you don't have to spend time or money on learning Power Editor or Ads Manager or whatever it is they're morphing into these days to get in front of potential customers. And like your local businesses are great examples.
Yeah, and I'm tracing the anatomy of those rumors that boosted posts will diminish your reach, and it seems to go something like this. When more people see your ad, there's a higher possibility that more people will hide your page from their feed, and the more that page receives negative feedback, the fewer people will see it.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. But for instance, I'm looking at a question someone posted on Quora about boosted posts and organic reach, and the only real answers given were related to improperly targeted boosted posts.
That's just going to be true across the board. If you're reaching the wrong people with bad content, whether that content is organic or paid or kind of in between, like I think boosted posts are, your performance is going to go down.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to run this test to filter out the bad content and the bad targeting to see if boosted posts actually affect the reach of the organic posts that follow them.
And you've got a theory that effect is actually going to be a positive one, right?
Yeah, a couple years ago, Josh Parkinson at Post Planner came up with this idea he called chumming the waters. If you fish, you kind of know what you do. You throw out some, when I growing up in Texas, we threw out dog food. That's what we used. You threw dog food in the water first because it was cheap.
Growing up in Oklahoma, we threw out other fish, but I guess that's okay.
Yeah, and probably in the Bay, they probably do the same thing too, where Josh is from. But we throw out some dog food or just some bread or whatever, and you get those fish to kind of come up to the top, and then you throw in your baited hook, and you try to catch them and reel them in. That's the whole idea. And the idea with his theory was, if you get engagement on a post, your next post should be rewarded. Based on that theory, I wanted to test this with boosted posts. So my hypothesis that I threw out there was posts following a boosted post will have higher organic reach.
All right. So What are we going to use to test this?
Well, this was a tough one. Like you said, trying to do it on Agorapulse's page could be difficult. What I did on this test is I used my local business page, which is in the inflatable rental business, bounce houses and water slides. It's a business that I've had for about 4 to 5 years, and we're going to test it on that page.
And this has been a very active business page for those 4 years, and this is also a seasonal business, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Texas, and so you go from about November-ish, depending on the weather, to March, and we don't get a lot of business, and so it's mainly warm weather. Summer is the biggest part of it. The majority of the revenue from the company is in that May to late August stage, and typically when we are busy, I typically will boost 3 to 4 posts per week. Just to keep myself up there in the news feed, so people will go, hey, I need a bounce house. And I remember seeing that company in my news feed. And so that's people I'm going to reach out to and call. That's the whole goal I have with boosting the post.
Okay. And how are we going to test our hypothesis that posts following a boosted post will gain higher reach?
It'll be pretty simple. I'm going to boost 10 posts for $10 each. Pretty low amount, but pretty reasonable for a small business with the type of revenue I have. And then measure the organic reach of the post immediately after it.
Okay, and what's the separation between the posts?
So we did one post every other day, and we alternated between boosted posts and organic posts.
All right. Now, what's the baseline we're trying to beat?
Well, I published 14 posts over an 11-day period without boosting anything at all, and found that the average organic reach was about 14%.
Okay, and this was prior to the experiment, meaning each post reached about 14% of your total fan base, even though some of those people reached won't be fans of the page.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we'll be publishing a total of 20 posts. That's one post every other day, alternating between a boosted post, then organic, then boosted, and so on. And we expect to see that organic posts following boosted posts will achieve reach above your typical 14% baseline.
Yeah, that's what I expect.
All right. What did we find?
Well, for once, we were 100% correct.
It's about time.
Yeah, if you ask my wife, she would say that's 100% false. But each of my posts following a boosted post achieved a substantially higher reach than what was typical on this page.
What's substantial? By how much?
About 21% higher than the typical post performance on this page. And I even removed the highest performing post from the equation to make sure it wasn't throwing off anything else, kind of our way that we can remove the anomalies there.
Damn, 21% higher.
Yeah, and it makes sense to me that an increased level of engagement will cause more people to see your next post, and that's exactly what's happening here. This is why I've always tried to alternate my boosted posts instead of boosting back to back. I see that a lot of business, our local chamber of commerce, for example, I see them boosting every single post. It shows up as a sponsored post. And that's silly because they're not taking advantage of that engagement they got on the last post to try to get some organic engagement on the next. So if the next post after a boosted one is going to have greater reach than normal, then for me, don't spend the money on the boost for that post. Save it for the next one.
So alternating between boosted posts and organic posts can not only save you money, but it can achieve the same results according to what we found here. Now, I guess the first takeaway here is to make sure boosted posts are right for your business.
Yeah, I think big businesses like major corporations, they probably would lose money by boosting posts because the targeting is so limited. But I do think local businesses can stand to gain a lot by boosting posts because of the smaller amount of fan base and the smaller area they're in. Boosted posts can be a real advantage.
And our second takeaway here is that it's really the engagement on your boosted posts that's making this possible. If you boost a post and nobody interacts with it, you're not likely to get the same results we got here.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old saying, like the tree fall in the woods, does it still make noise?
Right.
If you boost a post and no one engages it, the next post is still not getting engagement because you don't have anybody engaging. That's just how the algorithm works. But I do think small business could lose out on boosted posts if they don't use it and leverage it properly, like you were just saying. And for me, um, boosted posts have been an easy way for me to do things, and I spend about 3 to 5% of my overall revenue per year boosting posts in this manner that we kind of tested here.
And so the third takeaway would be how you target your boosted posts will make a huge difference as well.
Yeah, I think it's with every ad set, whether it's Facebook or Google Ads or wherever, you got to target your boosted posts well. If you poorly target your post, your results are going to be much different than what I did here. I targeted people that knew who I was and were in my target audience. So you can see how I targeted that audience in the blog article that's associated with this episode at agorapulse.com/social media lab.
And finally, the type of content really makes a difference. I know a lot of small businesses would probably really want to take advantage of higher reach to post, say, a link.
Yeah, I think for the reason that I don't like using links for my boosted posts is Facebook doesn't like you to leave their ecosystem. They want you to stay on and engage, and especially even now with the changes that are coming and already have come to the algorithm where conversations are so important. And so I like to only boost things that are going to help me get brand recognition and maybe sell my product. My product for this local business is very image driven. And so the photos kind of speak for themselves, and they're the things that sell my product and people will get excited about. So that's why I only boosted photos.
Anything that starts a conversation is going to benefit you the most, whether it's paid or organic. Now, knowing that links don't always perform well because Facebook doesn't want you to leave Facebook, when you post a photo of your product, do you ask people to PM you in your posts or to reach out to you, or do you just post the photo and let it work itself?
Well, I mean, for me, what I do, where my business comes from mostly on this page is through Facebook messages. And so let's say, for example, I post a photo of a huge 27-foot tall water slide we have. People will say, "Hey, how much is that?" I typically don't put that out there on the actual post. I message them privately because you have that opportunity to do that. I do reply to it, and then I take them to a private message. So I don't necessarily ask them all the time because people are kind of lazy when it comes to that. They won't do it. And I wouldn't expect people to, hey, message us for more. I mean, I don't think people will do that. I think you as a business kind of have to do that yourself and reach out to people who are asking questions like that.
But the photos you post are so enticing that they do reach out to you anyway.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So the bottom line here from this experiment is local businesses can still benefit from that boost button. Just make sure to target your posts well. Alternate your boosted posts with organic posts to get the most bang for your boosting bucks.
I like that, most bang for your boosting bucks. That's a good one.
Tongue twister.
I would say, for a local business and even maybe a larger, company in a bigger town even, consider boosting those posts, target it correctly, like you said, and experiment with, can I get engagement on that next post, on a post that got a boosted post that got engagement. Now, like we said earlier, if your boosted post fell flat, then you may want to rethink your strategy.
And for everybody else, there's always Ads Manager.